Hi, I'm Gina Belafonte. I'm an artivist and the executive director of Sankofa.org. When I was little and my father used to travel so much, he always did his own packing and ironing and shining of his shoes. And we lived in a nice size apartment in New York City. And I used to literally follow in his footsteps behind him and follow him around as he was getting ready to leave. But I knew very early on that I wanted to be an actress and I wanted to be in the arts. And I didn't know necessarily that I was actually following in his footsteps per se. I sort of shied away from any singing, although you never know, it's never too late, right? But as it relates to his social justice activism, he and my mother both really indoctrinated me at an early age. And it's just sort of part of my DNA. I would help often stuffing envelopes, doing whatever I could at some of the fundraisers that we had at our home. I didn't know before it was happening until now, and now it seems like I have very much followed in his footsteps. The thing about acting for me that's so great is that as an actor, you have the ability and the opportunity to sort of transform lives and open hearts and minds with whatever content you're bringing forward. And that's sort of what we do at Sankofa.org with our cultural events and our cultural productions. We use art as a tool to communicate messages of hope and of political consequence. So I think the most holistic for me would be being an actress. I had just seen a film on Gregory Peck, and we knew Gregory Peck and his family, and his daughter had done the film on him, and it was really touching and it was really wonderful, and it was such an inspiration to me that I then went to my father and I had approached him and I said, I think it's time for us to do a film on you. I think it's really important that we do a film on you. I didn't know that he had been approached many times before, but for whatever reason, he said yes to me. And so we began to embark on the process of creating the story of how we were going to tell the story of his life. And I followed him around the world, talking about footsteps and following in footsteps. I followed him around the world for 7 years, capturing him in different spaces and places, doing all the different kinds of social justice activism that he had been doing, interviewing hundreds and hundreds of activists and social justice leaders and artists and government officials and political personalities. It was an extraordinary process. It brought me very close to my father. I learned extremely intimate details of his life. And it was something that I'm so grateful for and was able to do. And he really fought for me to be able to. I had never made a documentary film before. And so with the other partnerships of people who had been in the business for a long time, he really fought for my place in the structure of doing this film. And so I was a producer on the film, and it's something I'm extremely, extremely proud of. On March 1st, which is the actual birthday of my father, he will be turning 95, and we're celebrating his life and legacy with a benefit event at the Town Hall, which is a theater on 43rd Street, 123 West 43rd Street in New York City. It starts at 7 p.m. We have an incredible lineup of artists and thought leaders and community leaders participating. I'll name a few of those in a moment. But the night is benefiting Sankofa.org, which is an organization that was founded, as I said earlier, by my father, myself, and Raul Roach, that works with artists, thought leaders, influencers, celebrities, in partnership with grassroots organizations and community leaders to shine a light on specific issues. We work in the areas of mass incarceration, immigration, income disparity, poverty, and violence. We wanted to ensure that when we worked on the issues of violence, we were being inclusive of eco-violence. If there were food deserts, the climate change, the ecology, war, domestic violence, because all of these need a light to be shown. We need to shine a light on these issues, and we use art and culture in order to do so. We use art as a tool to educate, motivate, activate, and engage people to the causes, to the issues. So that is what we're benefiting. We're working on two very specific programs that we're raising funds for. One is a virtual reality reentry program that Sankofa.org created in partnership with another organization by the name of Creative Acts. And it's using virtual reality and an arts-based curriculum as a tool to lessen the trauma triggers upon reentry when our incarcerated brothers and sisters come home. And then we have a civic engagement program that we do in partnership with many different organizations, which is youth-led, young artists, which are in the areas of music, film production, animation, and poetry. We bring them together to create short-form content, 30 seconds to, I think, a max of 3 minutes, little video clips that help to educate peer-to-peer around the issues that are coming up up on the ballot, to educate folks on who the elected officials are and what they do, not necessarily a specific person, but what their title is. What is the difference, for instance, between a judge and a district attorney? Happy Black History Month. Let's stay together and power to the people. Peace.